Today on We Love It Outdoors.
Opening morning 2013 spring turkey hunt. You could go ahead and take it.
I held it right on it, boy.
You did it!
I have never hunted Wisconsin.
Behind you. Don't move. Oh yeah, right there. He's right over the top of the rise there. I got this tree in my way. I can't have this tree in my way.
I'm Dan Eigen, full-time guide and avid outdoorsman. These days, it's easy to get stuck inside in a virtual world. But the real world is outside. So I challenge you to put your instincts to work, making real memories with real people. Because we love it outdoors. Every spring when the weather begins to warm and the snow retreats, I start thinking turkey. I can't help it. I'm hooked on chasing these incredible birds. But this spring, things are more than a little different. It's the eve of the annual turkey opener, and we're still covered in snow and ice.
This is really cool. I mean, I'm looking at a spot that is one of my favorite turkey spots in the whole area, this piece of property. And looking out from the truck, it just does not look like there's been any sign of anything. And then I get partway out to where I'm gonna go check out some roosting areas, and here is a set of big, looks like gobbler tracks. There is nothing better than that. That makes me feel awesome. These turkeys are so unpredictable that, my thought was that these birds are gonna be so flocked up, and when you're gonna see one, you're gonna see 30. I mean, we still have snow on the ground, but today we're out scouting and we're seeing singles. We saw 2 toms on the way here. Now we're seeing another single bird, which just is really bizarre. Now we got 3 of them converging again.
Despite the winter-like conditions, other signs of spring are too obvious to ignore. Animals of all kinds are out and about, ready for the return of warmer weather. That includes turkeys, and after a bit more scouting, we find a couple big groups of gobblers. My tag happened to be for the very first season of the year, so I had to try to deal with the snow and cold, or not hunt at all.
We did some scouting yesterday and we saw a lot of birds, but we didn't put any birds to bed, so I don't know exactly where they're at, but I do have, through the night, formulated a plan, and we'll just have to see if that works. But bottom line is that opening day, snow-covered ground, and I've never hunted turkeys with this much snow on the ground.
While I was ready for the cold and the snow cover, no turkey hunter is prepared to handle the conditions we faced this first week. As if calling in a wise old Tom isn't tough enough, Getting snowed out is certainly a first. My entire hunt consisted of 5 straight days of heavy, blowing snow without many birds to be seen at all. Not that I could see on most of the days more than a few yards anyway. Being such a fan of everything turkey, I won't let one bad week of weather be the end of my spring turkey season. So when the weather finally turns around, I switch into guide mode with the hope of helping other hunters bag a longbeard. My first opportunity is with Ryan Hopala and his father John from Chisago City, Minnesota. And on our first morning out, we're surrounded by birds, including some beautiful big toms. We've found the birds and we're set up in an ideal location. The only question remaining is if I can call one close enough for Ryan or John to get a clean shot. On a spring turkey hunt in central Minnesota, I'm trying to call in a crafty tom for my friends Ryan and John Hopala. We've got some big toms in close proximity, but they're just over the rise and neither hunter has a shot. But they're putting on one heck of a show for our camera. Finally, a young Jake makes the fatal mistake of coming within range, and Ryan makes him pay. That's one for the books for the spring of 2013, and I couldn't be happier. In fact, I think I enjoy calling in birds for others even more than pulling the trigger myself.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
John,
Great work, Dan.
unbelievable. And this is what I just get my thrills off calling turkeys. This is the most fun sport there is, period.
Which leads us to the next leg of the spring turkey tour. I'm headed to Camp Ripley to lend a hand in the annual Disabled American Veterans Turkey Hunt. A year ago, we had an incredible experience at Camp Ripley as part of the DAV deer hunt. It was a day I will never forget. Now we're back and we're chasing turkeys. It's opening morning and I'm with Tom Schottenbauer of the National Wild Turkey Federation, and our hunter is Korean War veteran Myron Skoblik. We barely had time to get set up in the blind and we were surrounded by gobblers.
Just wait for, you got a clear opening there. Okay, just relax, buddy. There's 3 of them. Just pick out the long beard, okay? Yeah, I see him.
As is often the case, the turkeys don't do what they're supposed to do. Rather than coming into the decoy, they try to circle behind us, but we get Myron turned around and pointed in the right direction just in time.
He's got a beard. You could go and pick him. He's got a beard. Whenever you're ready.
Yes! Praise the Lord.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nice job,
I held
Myron.
I held it right on it, boy.
You did it. Tom, nice work.
You guys do a good job.
You know what?
Hey, look at here. It's 6:30 and we're done. Oh, Myron.
And I would venture to say that you might have shot the first bird of the 2013 Camp Ripley DAV turkey hunt.
I think you did.
Well,
I think you did.
I'm first on something then.
We all, as Americans, thank you so much for your service. And Tom, did you serve at all in the
I
military?
did 2 tours in Vietnam.
You did, and God bless you, and thank you very much for that. And that's the special thing about this. It's like for me to come out here and spend time in a blind doing something that I absolutely love. I love to hunt, I love to fish. We've done the trolling for the troops, we've done the DAV deer hunt, and now this is my first year doing the Disabled American Veterans turkey hunt. And I'll tell you what, my body is just quivering right now. We've got a dead Jake right behind us. Myron was face out this window, overlooking the decoys, and we got the gobbler coming from this way. We knew he was coming down this road, so as crunchy as it is, we had to make the decision. We spun him around. He put the bead on that Jake and pummeled him.
Yes,
Yeah, so let's go out and get him.
Okay.
But congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you guys
Tom,
for
congratulations.
thank you.
that.
There you go, Myron.
Myron's is just one of dozens of heartwarming success stories taking place all over Camp Ripley this morning, as those who gave their very well-being in service of our country, World War II, get a little back from the rest of us.
Camp Ripley, 2013 turkey hunt. It's the biggest bird I've ever shot.
That's 2 birds in the bag for the spring of 2013. And now it's my turn to get back behind the gun. When We Love It Outdoors returns, we're headed for the rolling hills of southwest Wisconsin for a late season turkey hunt with Knight and Hale pro staffer Art Helin. Heading to Dodgeville, Wisconsin. I have never hunted Wisconsin. I've heard many years that there are just tons of birds over here, and I'm really excited. And particularly because my season A, we were hunting in a blizzard, and it was a tough hunt. I'm meeting up with Art Helin here in just a few minutes, and Art so far this year, I think he's like 14 for 14 on turkeys. He's got a bunch of awesome property that we're gonna have access to. I can't wait for tomorrow morning to get up at the crack and go out there and call one of those buggers in. So this is it.
Dan?
Art,
All right, buddy.
I'm good. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. How was the ride?
It was long, but what a beautiful night and what a beautiful place you have here.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm in turkey country.
You are in turkey country. So actually not really right here. We're not really in turkey country, but where we're going to be hunting, we'll be in turkey country.
Sounds like a plan. Art is one of Wisconsin's most respected veteran hunting guides with an unprecedented record of success. So I couldn't wait to sit down with a fellow longbeard fan and talk turkey, especially his thoughts on getting more hunters involved in this awesome sport. So Art, you know what, there's so many people that I've talked to over the years that think they have to be expert callers to shoot a turkey. Do you hear the same thing?
I hear it all the time, and I don't agree with them. I mean, you have to know the basics, and you have to be good at it, but there's a lot of different things that I do, and I do a lot more scouting because I truly believe that that bird has his spot. They've got their own strut zones. They have their places that they want to be. And so I'll take my cameras and I'll put my cameras out, or I'll take my binoculars and I'll look and glass these fields. Or most of it's all done with trail cameras anymore. People think about that for deer only. I really like to do it with turkeys because it's easier to call that bird, I believe, to that spot that they really want to be rather than trying to force them somewhere else.
As far as the, you know, pot calls, friction calls, whatever you want to say here, I mean, obviously, depending on the day, depending on the situation, you need different calls, but we also don't want to tell everybody that you have to have everything.
For the person who's just starting, I agree with you. You want to cut it back. The easiest way is, I think, either a slate, inexpensive diaphragm calls, if you want different sounds out of those slates, just buy different strikers. Now, you can buy 3 or 4 different strikers, and every striker is going to sound different on that call.
Why don't you just give us a little sample of maybe a little purr, a little yelp.
You know, if you're yelping, you can be real quiet for tree yelps. Thing is, you take that stroke, make it longer in the middle, and you can get loud and get that volume. Compared to, okay, your purrs, your clucks.
It's such an awesome sport that, you know, even sitting right here, I'm like a little kid in a candy store, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like...
You can really go overboard, and I mean, you could spend so much money on turkey gear. It's absolutely crazy. Find the one that sounds good, that you like, you feel comfortable with, run with it.
Totally.
There's nothing better than picking the brain of an experienced hunter, especially about turkeys. And what I really found interesting was Art's take on the subject of decoys.
I like a half strut Jake early in the year with a hen because at that time it's more of a dominance thing. Who is the dominant bird? So they want to come, why is that Jake with that hen? Push it off. You get into the breeding season, sometimes you use that, you know, full strut tom. I'm not big on the full strut tom. They work, but I'd still rather use that Jake because now they're, well, why is he still with these hens? Then you get into late season like we are now. I'll just put out 1 hen, maybe 2 feeding hens. The reason is they don't want to fight anymore. They're past that. They're looking for those last hens. We already know who the big kid is on the block. So I just want to find that hen. I want to find that last one because Mother Nature's telling them, hey, we're running out of time. We got to get things done here. And so he's looking for those last hens. And so I'll break it down and just use those hens during that time of year.
Art's advice for new turkey hunters essentially boils down to one point. Don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple and you'll up your odds for success. I think the two of us could talk turkey all night, but we've got an early morning date with the Wisconsin Tom that I don't plan to miss.
He's right over the top of the rise there.
The We Love It Outdoors crew is in southwest Wisconsin on the hunt for late spring gobblers with Knight and Hale pro staffer Art Helin. Our first setup this morning produced a couple of whitetail sightings and only 1 faint gobble from a far-off, uninterested tom.
Well, we got the one bird, and I don't think it's hearing us, you know, with this wind cranking the way it is. And then we've got that weather moving in, so what do you think? I mean, should we pull out of here and make a move?
Yeah, I think if we're gonna set up for the day, because if it's gonna start raining here with this weather, looking at radar, it might rain in the next hour or two. We might as well pack it up, sneak around back, try to get on the back side of that blind, check out that big field, and see if we can get in that blind.
Let's do it. Stealthily.
Stealthily as we can.
Let's go.
This is another good lesson in basic turkey tactics. Many hunters spend too much time working a setup with no birds or birds that are just too far off and obviously not responding to calls.
I think before we go over this, should we make a couple calls quick? Just to make sure they're not in that little dip there. Okay.
If it ain't happening, move to new ground, reset, and start over, which is exactly what Art and I did here.
Dan, don't move. He's right behind you. Don't move. He's got right behind you. Come on. Careful, let me get these shots.
He's right there.
I can't see him.
He's starting to
I can't see him.
He's starting to move on our frame.
I can't see him.
Art, tell me me when you're on him. I'm on him. Hang on just a second. Are you? Hang on. I'm on him. Okay. There he is right there.
You knocked him down. Nice calling. Nice calling.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah. It's my first Wisconsin gobbler. Oh, man. I got to go see that. That's a long beard.
That's a good bird.
That's a
That's got a
nice
great
bird.
beard on him. Let's go check him out.
Good job, Dan.
Thank you very much. Oh, big bird.
He is. That's a good bird. Look at the beard on that thing.
Wow. Thank you, Art Helin.
More than welcome. That's a good bird.
Wow, look at that. Big beard.
You know, everybody says it's such an ugly bird. I think they're pretty. I mean, when they're in full strut and they got all their colors going and
Beautiful
their
is
feathers
right.
just unreal.
What would you say, Art, here as far as age? I mean, those aren't really mammoth spurs there, but
He's a 2-year-old. He might be a 3-year-old, just because they're starting to get sharp. But I'm gonna say he's probably a 2.
that was pretty awesome timing. You know, before the weather moves in here.
Got out here and got set up, and these birds were gobbling back here. So, you know, we made the decision to move, and we moved, and it was the right move. So.
And it was, yep. I mean, there's many times where you make the wrong move in this sport, but man, oh man, nice job.
It's a fun day.
Awesome. Nice.
Fun couple days.
So that makes you 15 for 15 on
Yes,
the
sir. I'm here.
2013 season.
It does. So finish it with a bang. We're all good.
Oh boy, nice work.
Spring turkey hunting always feels more like a long journey than a simple hunting season, and this spring is no different. But every year along the way, I seem to find the very experiences and encounters that perfectly describe why I live for my time in the outdoors. So perhaps when it comes to turkey hunting tactics, the most important lesson of all is we do it because we love it. Continue this adventure by visiting your local Mills Fleet Farm store or shop online at fleetfarm.com for all your sporting good needs and more. fleetfarm.com.